Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What's going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back to Iraq. You know, the news hasn't really changed a whole lot lately, but there are a couple things we can go over. A lot of conversations are being had about what direction Iraq's going to go into when it comes to de-dollarization. How's that going to affect the dinar, if at all? What happens if the CBDC comes? What do we do with our dinar? These are all great questions, and they should be asked, and people should be researching them, trying to find a way to give you answers. I told you I put my call into Exchange of America multiple times, and the one time I did get a hold of somebody, they really didn't know what to tell us. Let's not panic about the CBDC, because there seems to be a worldwide resistance against it. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we just stay with cash, but I still have a feeling they're going to push us into this. So let's get into this, shall we? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold, silver, or any other precious metals, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description, or just type in www.moneymetals.com/Pimpy. If you make a purchase when you follow that link, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win 10 free silver ounces. So get started today, and hopefully your stack will start to look like this real soon. So head on over, tell them Pimpy sent you. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Metals, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. So like I said, there's not a whole lot going on in the news. There's just articles about the budget. They're trying to put their final touches on there, so that the committee can hand it off to Parliament and then have them vote on it. So as you go through the news, you can see there's article after article that these people are working hard. They're working day and night, doing everything they need to do to make sure that, you know, everybody's happy on the budget, and it will pass when they get ready to vote for it. The faster they do that, the better it is for Iraq. So somebody sent me this article saying, look, Pimpy, they're not using the dollar anymore. They banned it. And I go, well, not quite. But yeah, I know they're trying to make the attempt to stop using US dollar. Hell, I've been pushing for what, the past year and a half? If they want to strengthen up their currency, they got to get out of the habit of using US dollars. The more they use their money, the stronger it becomes. And that would help build up confidence in their local currency. We know right now it's not on the Forex, but it'd be nice if it finally did get on there. There's still some restrictions on there, but as soon as they are removed and are on the Forex, they should be good to go. Then we'll see what kind of exchange rate regime they'll choose. This is going to be interesting because remember, they're pegged to the dollar. While the dollar's dominance is declining in the Middle East, I've been saying that the United States has been acting like a bully. People are tired of the way they're acting. They use the SWIFT system like a weapon instead of what it's meant for, and people are looking for alternative ways to do business, and countries are already moving in that direction. Iraq has just banned U.S. dollar transactions. The Saudis and Emirates plan to sell oil without it, and there are plans to establish a whole new currency to bypass it. To know why, first have a look at the war in Ukraine. But if you think that's the only place fighting right now, you are sadly mistaken. There's all kinds of things happening in Sudan. There's things happening in Africa. It's really bad. These are just things the news isn't even talking about. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear quietly we're having a actual boots on the ground world war, and they're just not telling us. We know for sure they got soldiers over in Ukraine. They keep lying about it, but it's been proven time and time again. Our special forces are with the CIA, or at least there. But anyways, back to this. So did they ban the US dollar altogether? No. But major items, they're not allowed to use the US currency anymore, such as houses. And we spoke about this the other day. There was another article that said basically the same thing. Anyone in Iraq who wanted to buy a car or a house this week got a nasty shock. Last Sunday, the Iraqi government announced a ban on doing personal or business deals in US dollars. Ordinary Iraqis usually make big ticket purchases using dollars. Because of the devaluation of their own dinar, they need several large rubbish bags filled with paper dinar notes to buy a car or house. So they usually just use their wallet full of dollars instead. So I know people are going, well, how's the dinar losing value? It's still the same exchange rate. As a matter of fact, it actually gained. We moved it from being a lower value to a higher value. So what the hell are they talking about? Although the Iraqi dinar and US dollar exchange rate stays the same because it's fixed, what they're talking about is the fact that the Iraqi dinar is pegged to the US dollar. So as the US dollar loses value, so does the Iraqi dinar. It doesn't change the exchange rate between the US dollar and the Iraqi dinar, but it does hurt their purchasing power because they are pegged to the US dollar. So for decades, the US dollar has been the best currency to have in the Middle East if you don't have enough dirhams, dinars, reals, or pounds on hand. But that may be starting to change. Over the past few months, senior politicians in a number of the Middle East nations have made statements that suggest the dollar's dominance in the region may fade. So in Iraq, the U.S. authorities had been making it harder to get U.S. dollars into the country. They're apparently worried that too much American cash was being smuggled over into Iran. As you are aware, they are under sanctions, so that's a no-no. But is tactically supported by many Iraqi politicians. The shortage of dollars has led to volatility in the value of the Iraqi dinar, which is pegged to the US dollar. But here's something that I found interesting about this. So they're saying they're not sending dollars to Iraq because they believe the money is being smuggled into countries that are sanctioned by the US. But if you listen to my gold and silver video, Janet Yellen said she was concerned they were getting ready to run out of money. Remember, they had like $104 billion, and by the time the weekend was over, it dropped down to 80. And I was like, wow, really? We don't have no money? That's what they're trying to tell us. So is that the real reason why they're not sending money over to Iraq? Because the United States is going broke, which is funny because all you have to do is just whip out that stupid little printer and just get that bad boy pumping and you'll be good to go. But I think that's more of the realistic picture, is that we don't have the money at the moment. Our liquidity is disappearing, which means the economy is going to crash. So right now, what they're trying to do is blame the Republicans, claiming that you have to raise the debt ceiling. If you don't raise the debt ceiling, then we can't generate more money. If we can't generate more money, then we're screwed. I say don't raise it. Let the dollar crash. That's what true capitalism is. If your business model fails, let it burn. Either go back to the drawing board, figure out what you did wrong and improve it, or just bankrupt the Federal Reserve. I like that option. I say go back to the gold standard. But most likely that's what's going on. We're not sending money to Iraq because we might not actually have it. This volatility brought about last weekend's ban. And in February, also thanks partially to the U.S. currency crunch, Iraq said it would do business with China using the yuan instead of the dollars. Earlier this year, the Saudi Arabia finance minister said the country was also open to selling oil using different currencies, including the euro and the Chinese yuan. The UAE has said it will work with India using the Indian rupee. Last year, Egypt announced plans to issue bonds, financial securities that help governments raise money in Chinese yuan. It had already issued bonds in Japanese yen. So as all these nations are trying to figure out what the next reserve dollar is going to be, there's some things we should think about here. It says additionally, several Middle East nations, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Algeria, Bahrain, have said that they want to join the geopolitical bloc known as the BRICS, an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It's interesting that these nations are the ones that we most likely have boots on the ground. We know we're over there in Ukraine fighting Russia, and we know we're in South Africa, and we have been posturing against China. Is this the United States way of trying to bully these people into second guessing their move into a new currency? I can't see how we would be able to take all these nations on, but that doesn't mean we won't try. I really think that Biden wants to turn his country over to China, in my opinion. Russia has already said that at an upcoming June meeting, the alliances will discuss the creation of a new kind of currency for cross-border trade between members. So we are at the end of May, so next month is definitely going to be very interesting. So if the world is de-dollarizing, what does this mean for the US dollar? Well, why would anybody hold the dollars? I know the media likes to push and the government likes to push that it's the strongest currency, but it isn't. Since 2013, the US dollar has lost 85% of its purchasing power. So why do people continue to think that the US dollar is so strong? I told you they skew the numbers. They lie on the data. They just mislead people. It's a Ponzi scheme that's getting exposed. Will anything happen to anybody? Yeah, most likely not. So the economies were already crashing, and that's what they did last time. They blamed the RONA. So don't be surprised if a new one doesn't pop up here real soon. Right around the time in June. Watch. So as I was stating, people are just tired of the U.S. bullying them around. But is there a country out there strong enough to become the next reserve dollar? Well, let's take a look. Everybody's talking about the yuan, but the yuan can't stand by itself. Not by itself anyways. Yuan's fall against the dollar temporary, experts say. So it's having a hard time just keeping up with the U.S. dollar. And this is May the 18th, this article came out. Said the Chinese yuan weakened past 7 per dollar on Wednesday for the first time in 5 months. China is on the verge of bankruptcy itself. They're insolvent. We're seeing some of the biggest real estate scams get exposed. People are losing their money. But you're not going to ever hear China talk about it. Sometimes the news gets out. We spoke about it for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, mum is the word. So did China get bailed out? Whatever happened to Evergreen and them? Well, what do you suppose happened? Remember, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Yep, BlackRock went over and took care of them. So what was supposed to happen is the dollar was supposed to strengthen every time we give it a rate hike. Except for it's not working. It's causing more damage than it's doing good. The Federal Reserve is probably about this close to going back down on the interest rates. But they thought by hiking the rates, it'll make the dollar stronger, and people aren't buying it. People are losing their faith in the dollar, and I can't help but feel like that's really part of the strategy. So let's take a look at a world map, shall we? Here we are, little us. We are the reserve currency for the world. So who's going to be the alternative currency? Russia? China? Nobody trusts them people. China's been backstabbing people for almost 100 years now. They steal your technology. They have failed to commit a lot of commitments, and so has Russia. So nobody trusts these two. So we know they can't be the reserve currency. Brazil, we had a Trump-like politician in there, but unfortunately, due to strange circumstances during that special day, just like over here, Lula won, and that made a lot of people over here on the Democratic side very happy because they're pushing the World Economic Forum's agenda over there. Lula is anyways. He is a socialist, and he wants to change to a socialist system. So what they're doing over there is the same thing they're doing to Trump. They are trying to imprison their political opponents. They did the same thing to Bolsonaro, and then he had to leave, and I believe he's now in court or going to jail. You can see already this New World Order agenda seems to be falling apart, and you're seeing a lot of desperate things happen. So China, no. Russia, no. Brazil, no. Although Brazil does have one of the strongest currencies out there. Well, you can't trust Iran because they're a hot mess, and they're on the verge of collapsing as well. But if you take all of the Middle East, most of the currencies over there are pretty strong, only because they're an oil nation, so they got commodities. Let's take a quick look at the top strongest currencies in the world for 2023, shall we? So Brazil's the 20th, Fiji dollars the 19th, Algerian's the 18th, New Zealand, Australian, Brunei, Singapore, Canada, Bermudian, Panamanian, Bahamian, and there's the US dollar now at the number 9 position. At number 8 is the Swiss franc. So you got the euro, the British pound, Cayman Island dollar. So look at this. The fourth one, Jordanian dinar. Then you have the Omani rial, the Bahrainian dinar, and the Kuwait dinar. That's these territories right in here. So with all those strong currencies, there's 22 or 23 nations that are all part of the Arab Monetary Fund. They have created their own currency to do business amongst one another. So I can see a scenario that people decide to go ahead and use the Arab accounting dinar. You have 23 nations already in there that support it, and all of them are oil-rich countries. So could it be possible that the Arab accounting dinar becomes the world's reserve currency? There's no talks about it, but I think it'd be a good idea. For those of you who don't know, the Arab accounting dinars exchange rate value comes from them taking whatever the SDR rate is, which I think right now is, 1.78, multiplied times 4. That's the exchange rate of their currency. But it only is used amongst those nations that are part of this Arab Monetary Fund. So they're already using a basket of currencies. Could other countries add to it and create a currency that could be used amongst everybody? I think it's possible, but what other options are they if they're truly going to try to dethrone the United States dollar? Russia can't do it, China can't do it, India can't do it, Brazil can't do it, not by themselves. They are going to have to join in. Nobody trusts them people. You have Iran over there, but nobody trusts them neither. But all the Middle East countries over there together, there is a big possibility. So how does this affect the Iraqi dinar? Well, the Iraqi dinar is one of the currencies used in the Arab Monetary Fund for the Arab accounting dinar. So if they unpeg themselves away from the US dollar and then allow themselves to be pegged to the SDR basket, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to go up in value. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to pull that trigger and make it happen. Anyways, just keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully there's some kind of agreement that will allow the Iraqi dinar to unpeg from the US dollar and consider pegging themselves to the Arab accounting dinar, allowing the Iraqi dinar to be a much stronger currency. Anyways, that's it for now. I'll look forward to your comments, and I'll get back at you later. I'm out.